Poodle fam, here we are, Wednesday therapy session for me. Oh, good to see the chat going already. Hey, this is it. Something to be excited about. It's PGA West week. I know you're all really excited about PGA West week. No, this is my Mecca week. I actually take a mental health day on Friday to get out there, but we tee off starting today. I don't know. We'll see who takes this one. Kim is the defending champion from last year, but I don't know. I think it's Scotty's year. For this one. So anyway, something to be excited about. But what's interesting, who's looked at our chart lately? Who has looked at our chart lately? Dang. We are rolling, but not only are we rolling, the entire crypto market is rolling. Is this where I get to say that Joe was right? Do I get to say I was right again? Yeah, Scott. I think so. Beat me up, Scott. Well, it's Scotty's year. So, oh boy. What a week. All right. So Joe how was I wrong? Our pump is coming earlier than I thought. Now remember, I originally said February. No, what did I say? February, March? Yeah. And then Sasha went April. We'd agreed on March. So you know what? 6 weeks away. 6 weeks away. Yeah, I did. Well, no. Did I say April? No, I said February. Sasha said April. And we agreed on March. Or was it the other way around? I don't know. Anyway. Hey, we're only 6 weeks away from March, so this is a good time. So, what's interesting? Why the PGA West hat? Except for the fact that we're both wrong because it was January. It was January that the pump started and the bull run started. Why my PGA hat today? Outside of the fact that then again, this is a weekend in Palm Springs, a good old weekend in Palm Springs, enjoying the nice weather and some good friends and some good golf. It's my favorite golf because I don't play it, right? Then I can't lose. What does it mean? So what's funny is it was at PGA West a couple of years ago now. Actually, so it was 3 years where I had a buddy of mine. It's not that bad. Palm Springs is not that bad, L. It depends on where. It's technically La Quinta that we're going to, stadium course. And it's the course that made Tiger famous. I mean, come on. I mean, you got, Alcatraz followed up, right there with the beautiful, water, the island there. I just blanked on the name of the hole. But, all right. So what was it? So it was 3 years ago, PGA West. I was there with some friends, and it was the first time somebody had told me. I knew about crypto and stuff, right? But where I downloaded my first DeFi wallet. Okay, because I think my history. I was. Like a lot of people, where you could just, have your Coinbase or whatever and just buy a little bit of Bitcoin or whatever. And that was kind of your crypto investment. And of course it did well, but it was not in the same, I do need a poodle hat. It wasn't the same way as like right now. So it was kind of, just like a lot of people, a little bit of Bitcoin, maybe a little bit of whatever you could easily trade on Coinbase, right? Little lay, whatever it was, right? And so it was 3 years ago, PGA West, where I had somebody show me more in the DeFi side, and I downloaded my first DeFi wallet. And this was before the pump. This was before getting involved. Everyone knows kind of my history, how. The house fire I had and finding the Poodle family is really what kind of helped me through that. That was now, 2 years, 1 month and 3 days ago. And for the house fire. But about 2 years ago, again, kind of finding the family and the poodle fam. But what's interesting is that that's where I kind of started looking at things and seeing where things were going. And I remember not a lot of movement. I mean, the DeFi side was kind of like, it was like, all right, it was fine, but it wasn't like, the thing it was now, right? It was kind of like, oh, well, you can go and buy this other thing like Doge. And there's like these almost like it before the pump 2 years ago. It was almost like, you had to be in the know and you had to be kind of in the in crowd to know how to go outside of the, the standard wallets and the centralized exchanges to go into the DeFi world. It was just like this whole other kind of cryptic thing. So it was funny because now, boom, that was 3 years ago. I downloaded my first DeFi wallet. Fast forward to 2 years, and I'm over at PGA West. And that was right about the time that I got my first bag of Poodle. Because now we're showing up 1 year later, seeing the same friends. And now all of a sudden they're like, are you seeing this meme coin? Have you heard about a meme coin? And I'm like, wait, no. What do you mean about a meme coin? And so we started going and I started looking at that, right? And of course, whatever meme coins were popular with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I was like, oh, this is fun. This is fun. And then you start watching these charts going all over the place and then fair launch, right? You got that one. And then you have, what's launching today. And all of a sudden hashtagging 1000X. So we're like, there's Twitter goes with this too. It's not just a wallet, but you could use Twitter too. And then that same weekend, downloaded Telegram. Okay, now we're getting there. This is getting serious. And I have a funny thing that some of you listening still remember that change where you're like, Telegram, crypto Twitter. All of a sudden you found this time where you're like, oh, now it's games. And so that was 2 years ago, PGA West, right? And then the pump and all of that. And we saw it happening. And this is where, obviously got involved, got all of that stuff going, got involved with, the community and all. It was May that I started the poodlcast of that year. Fast forward to last year's PGA West, same people show up again. And of course, we all enjoyed the pump. And then we kind of saw the market go down. The market's been down for longer than we would like, or it was. And so that was kind of our time going, okay, well, what does this mean? And we had some good conversations with my friends. They're like, are you still into the poodle thing? I'm like, of course I'm into the poodle thing. And that's my bread and butter. Those are my peeps. This is my, that's my ride or die. And it was one of those where they go, okay, well, let's talk about how long do we think this down? Do we think it's dead? And of course, right around that same time, if you look back to almost the same time a year ago, when we were saying, okay, is crypto dead? It was all those are the episodes I was doing because those are the conversations people were having, right? And then even people were thinking, okay, well, March again. Remember, we saw March and April of the previous year was where our boom was, right? In 2021. So we're going to see that. And of course, we didn't really see it in March and April. A little bit of a pump when people got some tax money, tax refunds back. But, that was to be expected. And so now we fast forward. Tee-off starts this morning. For PGA West. I head back out on Friday to see the same friends. But what's the conversation? I know some of my friends. They're lurkers, okay? So I'm going to speak to you. We're going to have this conversation because they listen to the podcast. They don't necessarily come on live, but they listen to the podcast. And we're going to have the conversation that I was right about the bull run starting, at least this year, that at least we would get out. And here's the thing, though. I'm not a genius. I know you all think I'm a genius. I know I come off like a genius. But all I did is use probability. Yeah, exactly. But tell me to hear it. I like to use probabilities. The fact is, the average bear market runs for 9 months, and the average bull market runs for a little over 2 years, right? And when you're in a bear market that's running a little over a year, especially when over a year, which again, coupled with this session, to expect it's going to be longer than the average. Remember, averages mean that half the things are longer and half the things are shorter, right? Um, it just made sense, right? That we were going to come into a bull market coming up, right? It wasn't rocket science to figure out at some point this thing is going to end and turn. And now it's happening. We've actually seen a lot of movement. We've seen Bitcoin do its steady pace up. We've seen Ethereum and Binance do a steady pace up. I think SHIB did 20% yesterday. We had a 40% 2 weeks. And again, and you got to look at it. Same thing. We had one day last week where we pumped a lot, and then a sell comes in, and it takes the profits, and then it kind of pushes you back. But we went just like our family does every single time. We recovered from it, and we recovered from it in 2 days. That's one of the things that I love about this, besides the fact that we're a token that has locked liquidity still for years, so we're not going anywhere. The fact is, we are really, really resilient to sells. We have a community who sees a large sell and seizes it opportunity, which is, go back to my initial dollar cost average episode, and I talk about that. I talk about having, always, which I do every month, boom, 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 money, money, money. But there's always a sense, if you want to do, dollar cost averaging like a pro, you got to put a little extra aside for buying opportunities, right? Dollar cost average and then find opportunities. So there's kind of 2 steps to, taking dollar cost average to the next level. And that is, that's what we saw after we saw this amazing pump. We ate a zero. We are so close to killing another zero. And I think when we pass it again, some bots are going to sell. It's what happens every time you eat a zero. I think we're going to recover, and I think we're going to not see that. That's going to be gone for good. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I am a doctor. The thing is we are now finding, and I think Sasha just put it here, this year will be massive. The sellers are most likely gone. People buying now are buying around the best price we've ever had. Exactly. I wish this price was around when I first got into Poodle. Imagine the size of my bag if that would have been the case for me now. Oh my God. But this is it. People are starting to come in. They're starting to look. They're starting to say, okay. And what did we call this? I called this before. What's going to happen when the market turns? Lurkers start coming. They want to find a home. They want to find a family they trust. And that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to guarantee you, PGA West, when I'm in Palm Springs on Friday, conversation with my buddies, what's going to happen? They're gonna FOMO back in, because now we're gonna have our wallet. They're gonna say, okay, what's the project? And I'm gonna say, I'm still here, I'm still in it, and we're going strong. And we have our new utilities being released. We've got the Academy being released, and we are moving strong. We are working on building the team out further, which is just going to be amazing. And this is where what you're going to see. I started this week too. We had Martin Luther King Day on Monday, so I took some time, started working on some back end stuff with the website. I do another. I don't like the new one. I know the new one's better than we had. I don't like it. I don't know. It didn't do it for me. So I've got kind of a new design. It's all the hardest part was transferring stuff over from the old now into the new platform. So we're there, and I would just want to make it a little bit better for the Academy and make it more user-friendly when you show up, to know what we're like and stuff like that. So I've got that. Expect that soon, hopefully really, really soon. Yeah, that's it. We're here, and we build it. We keep coming. Others have died, and we're still here. And that's the cool thing. And we've said that that's what people are going to see, because the fact is a lot of people did lose money on crypto. The fact is a lot of people got bummed out because they came in late, right when the bear market started, and they lost money. So what are they going to trust? What they're going to trust is those of us who are still here, right? That's exactly it. They're going to trust those of us who are still here and have shown progress. One thing I'll tell you, just still being here should be enough reason, period. All right. Still being here should be enough reason. Let me get my coffee. But we're not just here. We kept building the token. We kept building the utility. We kept seizing new opportunities. And that is where the value is. I'm seeing the live numbers are better than they've been. We've got people getting excited here. And this is a token to be excited about. So when I'm at PGA West this week, we're going to talk, and we're going to have and I'm going to tell them, look, this is where it's going to go. And I guarantee you a bunch of them, I don't even think they sold, I think they're just quiet, are going to keep coming back in. And I think we're going to see, and I'm going to make another prediction. So Wen Bull Run. I didn't even got to the title of the thing yet. Oh, hold on. Oh, see, bad producer. Titles. There we go. Wen Bull Run. So you want a fun fact? The reason I like this scene that's on right now is because it reminds me of the title. So when I start getting sidetracked, I remember, which direction is it? It's that way. That way. Wen Bull Run. It reminds me to get back on track. So I know work does contact. So here's the thing. I think last year at PGA West, didn't I do some? I did some the NFT 3D NFTs from the holes, I believe. Didn't I put the poodle up on some of the tees? Anyway, and so Wen Bull Run now. This is it. The market has turned. What's interesting, I know 14 weeks till episode 100. The market's turned. We're in it. If you remember, for the last about month and a half, I've been not calling it a bear market, but a stale market. I just knew that I felt that there was a change coming. Even though it was still technically a bear market, it was like there was just a difference. And now we're starting to see it come out. I think that what's happening, it's a combination of society kind of saying, all right, I'm done. Because the fact is, the crypto takes off when volume goes up, right? Even the same people just trading back and forth start creating that volume. They start creating the pumps. They start creating the excitement, which brings investors in. I think generally as a token, we, hey, Ricky, we, not just a token, as a crypto world, we just said we're done. We're done waiting. And we kind of took it into our own hands. And I think the investors started seeing that happening. I think that this year, again, we're seeing easy movements, right? Let's say, and like I said, I just think that the economic times have now switched. And I don't necessarily think it's any global policy. I think, sadly, the war in Ukraine is kind of out of sight, out of mind, because it's not in the news as much as it was. Which is driving people to try to get back to their normal life. I'm saying that is not a good thing, that the war is out of sight, out of mind. We still need to help them. But it's a contributing factor. I think that what we're starting to see is that people are tired of being in a bad economy. We saw retail not staggered during the holidays. It wasn't as great as a normal year, but it was better than expected. And so what we're seeing is crypto people say, let's start trading again. And so that said, here's the thing. And this is part of the thing that I didn't predict. I kind of thought that the market would return off of the NFT people. Even though NFTs took a dive and we saw the price of some of the Bored Apes recently. What's this? Ones that were selling for $1 million are now worth 70 grand. I kind of thought it would be the NFT market taking it off and making it turn. I kind of thought it would be metaverse that was going to make it turn. Going back to last week's episode, metaverse is definitely the future, so 100% the future. But it's not. It was actually crypto traders. It is actually people who said, I'm done sitting here watching my money go away. I'm going to reinvest in it, and I'm going to start trading and creating volume. Volume is the single number one thing that can get this bull run running. And that's exactly it. Right now, the bull's just trotting. The bull's starting to move forward right now. It was stale for a while, but it's walking forward. But it doesn't yet see the red cape. It doesn't not yet know to charge. But it is the crypto people who are saying, done with it. And it's those who have been putting the investments in for a long period of time who are now starting to move their money and move it into other projects, right? Bitcoin was, there was a lot of movement into Bitcoin when the market dropped just because the fact is it was the most stable of all of them, right? It is really considered if you had to say which is the currency of crypto, it's Bitcoin. There's no doubt about that. And so you saw people just throwing their money there out of other projects to let the bear market ride out. And so as it was riding out, they put it in there and it just sat there stale. Again, why I got back to why I called it a stale market. No movement. And then that just wasn't good for us, right? Because we're the trickle factor, right? It goes Bitcoin really pushes how Ethereum does, which pushes how Binance does, which pushes how we do. I also said to some before that our value rises even if we do nothing when the rest of the crypto market rises. Why? Because that's how it works. When we're leveraged against Binance, so when Binance goes up, then we end up reaping the benefits of that. And so now what you saw a lot of big traders move their money that they were holding in Bitcoin and Ethereum and just who were letting it sit there start moving it. And as soon as you start seeing big transactions move, here's the thing. They didn't move to cash out. They moved to make other investments. And that's what was key. Let me say that again. The money didn't move to cash out. It moved to make other investments. That's what kicked it off. It happened right about 10 days ago, I would say. Yeah, about 10 days ago is where I think we start really seeing it. We saw this change going, okay, something's happening here. Is it a fluke? And it's not a fluke. It started happening, and it continued to happen. Other coins started having random great days. The communities started getting active again. And that's exactly what we saw. Look at our Telegram now. Look back 2 weeks ago in the volume, even just in the talk. And now look at our volume here. That's exactly what happened. About 10 days ago, things switched. And think about it, last week's episode. So 10 days ago, I was at CES, right? I was in Vegas. Last week's episode, I was talking about it. And I kind of saw some movement. I knew something was happening. But I couldn't quantify it. And I didn't even want to put an episode about it because it could have just been one of the random 2 or 3 day pumps. But now the market's moving. The money is moving. The money's moving in to Poodle. And like I said, even if you have a big sell, the money came back into Poodle. People picked up the buying opportunity. And that's a solid thing. That actually just goes to show what we've been telling you about this token all the time, all along. This token has become something that people can trust, right? This has been something where people go, I'm going to move my money. I want to take my Bitcoin, which we know Bitcoin will hit 100,000, okay? I'm going to say it will probably hit 100,000 by year's end. And we're sitting around 20,000. That's 5x. That is a solid investment. if you are, and I'm going to say it, not to give financial advice, but give financial advice. If you are just somebody who is very risk averse, by the way, you're probably not watching this show on a random, altcoin if you're risk averse. But let's say you are. Go buy yourself some Bitcoin because it's going to 5x by end of the year. It just will. And I think that's what's going to happen in this next bull run. But do you realize what happens to everyone down the line who has greater possibilities when a Bitcoin 5x's? You're going to see Ethereum probably, I don't know if I want to say 10x from where it's at, but I'll go 8. I'll go a solid 8. And then you're going to see Binance is a tough one. I think it's only going to do 2 or 3, but that's okay, right? I think it's 3 for sure, because at least that hits it back its own all-time high. Maybe 4 or 5. I don't think it has as much trajectory, but what it does for all the altcoins that are built upon the smart chain is R100X looks like a weak return, right? We're going to automatically see if we don't kill two. Well, first off, we'll probably kill the first 0 in the next week. Okay. But if we don't kill 2 zeros by year's end, I'd be shocked. I mean, I would just be dead shocked if we didn't kill 2 zeros by year's end. Do I want to go 3? No, I'm not going to be that crazy but I do think 3 will be in the next 2 years. Remember, the average bull market lasts a little over 2.5 years. What happens 2 years from today? Presidential, not necessarily from today, but probably 2 years from next week. A new president will be in the U.S. We will see inauguration or re-inauguration. I mean, depending on whoever wins. So what's going to happen over this next year? This is where you start seeing activity. You see a lot of movements. You see money move. I think the timing of this bull run might give us a 3-year bull run. A longer bear market might create a longer bull market. You automatically see every time there is a new president, things typically pump immediately after. In inauguration, whether it's Biden again or somebody else, I just think everything's lined up. So if we don't kill 2 zeros by this this time next year, I'd be shocked to death. Like, again, we're probably going to kill one of them in the next week or 2, and then we'll have the other one done, and then I think we could see a third 0 by the end of the following year. Again, it's going to get a little bit harder. The later zeros are easier to kill than the earlier zeros, or you get what I'm saying. The ones closer to the decimal point are harder to kill. But do you realize that what we can start to do is, if you were investing, do you realize, and I want to tell people this, and I don't know why people don't get this, all zeros are equal when it comes to investment. Let me say that again. All zeros are equal when it comes to investment. In other words, if you invest now, where there's 7, 8 zeros, whatever it is, you're doubling your money is easier with more zeros, right? And so what you want to see is that what we're going to start to see is this movement. I'm trying to put this into words. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, because all right. I have to back up. I got off. People are talking politics over here on the chat, and I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? But with the 2 years. So again, what we're going to start to see as we move is that if you invest now, if you put $1,000 in now, you kill a 0, that's 10,000. Kill another 0, that's 100,000. Kill another 0, that's $1 million. Right? 10,000, 100,000. Yes. And so that is easy to do from this point. It is harder to do later. Okay. So for example, the person that puts in 1,000 right now, it's easier to get to that million. If you wait till 2 zeros are gone and then put your 1,000, it is a lot harder for our token. So for example, let's say it was a penny a share. It's harder to get to $1 a share, right? That's just the nature of it. Okay. It's just harder to go from a penny to $1 than to go from 8 zeros to 6 zeros, right? But as an investment, your investment value is the same, right? Your profit value is the same. And the reason for that, of course, is the later you wait, the less shares you're buying with that amount of money, right? You've got more shares with more zeros, less shares with less zeros. So for it to rise, more people have to buy. It's just harder, okay? Makes sense. I know I'm preaching to the choir. So that's why I'm going back to my thought of, okay, I think we're at 2 zeros gone by end of year, possibly a third zero by the end of 2 years. And we're seeing the bull run change. Wen Bull Run is now. It is happening now. This is your time to buckle up. This is your time to invest in your own investment, not just money-wise, but in actions. Get out there shilling. People are looking for places to put their money. Money is moving, okay? When money moves, it needs to land somewhere. Where they want to land it. Let's land it on Poodle. Let's show them that we are who we say we are. And so let's get out there. Let's get the shill train running. Let's get the Poodle Olympics running. Let's get all of our projects done. Let's get them in line. We might have to move up some launches. And we've got this. That 30, I mean, I'll put it here. 30 million market cap is not an impossibility. I would be shocked if we weren't at a 30 million market cap by the end of the year. I would be. I think that our current valuation is low. We know that it's low. Everyone lurking knows that it's low. The question is, when are people buy in, and when are they going to say, all right, let's ride this poodle? And they will, because why? Even the people who were on early 2 years ago who left Poodle to start their own projects, those projects are dead. But we're still here. Let me say that again. Remember 2 years ago when there was a billion admins and this thing was just this wild thing with no leadership, and we are thankful for our leadership in Sasha right now. But when this thing was a mess, and people were in it, and they were riding it up, and they took their money and they went to other projects. Said, "Oh, I'm going to start my own project. I'm going to make money overnight." They're all dead. They all lost all their own money. None of those projects. And I was even looking through my wallet the other day. I was like, oh, I wonder which ones of these, we've even had some of our great friends, our great partners who we wanted them to be successful had to close down their tokens. So I kind of looked through and went, oh, which ones are still around? Because even if people I did know, I would throw them a few dollars, right, and buy some of the tokens because you never know, right? They're all gone. All gone. All investment dead. Dead. You go to their website, you get a 404, right? They're not even trying to update it. They're not even trying to pretend they're still around. This is where you're going to see even a lot of those people start to come back. Now, the funny thing is all the money they invested now gone. They wasted on their other stuff. The value's dead. And now they're going to be putting in fresh money, which is great. You know what? Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for the fresh money. But you could have just stayed in a long time ago, and we got our act together and made this already not people talking about SHIB, but they'd be talking about us. But this time is what's going to happen, and we already see it. We've been saying it. We've been doing what we're doing. The biggest thing about that is we've never, ever missed a charity donation. How many people can actually say that they do what their word is? If we say we're going to do something, we're going to do something. And that is where we know that integrity means more than anything. Our integrity, our being who we say we are, is what's important. And that's why we know that we are going to be one of the strongest coins, strongest tokens when this bull run is charging forward. So I am going to encourage you all, obviously bag up, but get ready. This is it. You know, I thought we were going to have about another month before we'd really have to get the hype train going, but nope, it's now. It is now. Expect though, I mean, I hate being a naysayer, but expect some profit taking in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Again, people who move money also know that other people follow and they do take profit. So there might be a little bit of but the money train's moving, because what's going to happen? They're going to take their profits and they're going to move it into another token, right? So this is an exciting time. I'm glad that this is the conversation we're having. We will get there. This is just the greatest, the Poodle fam's the greatest fam to have. So thank you all. I'm excited about it. Wen Bull Run now. The bull's kind of just walking, but it's moving forward. Let's get those red capes out, get that bull excited and get it charging. So hopefully you enjoyed this one, everybody. Look at that. That chat's going off. The number of concurrent viewers is up. So that is fantastic. And so we're going to be, we got this. We got this, everybody. I'll see you from PJ West. Maybe we'll get a little poodle out on the green again. You guys have a great week. We love you, Poodle fam. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.